Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Alexi and this is Soto-Tek. I recently used the Galaxy A13 for a little over a week and I want to give you my thoughts about it and talk about the cons and pros of this super budget device. Okay, despite its low price, my question is, should you really buy it or pay more for something better? Let's start with which I perceive to be cons after having used other phones, but you have to take into account the price of this phone and whether these are deal breakers for you or not. The main cons for me as a camera enthusiast have to do with the camera capabilities or limitations. Even if I don't really use some modes, I like to have them for those rare occasions when I might need them. Here are the cons related to the camera that I think you should know. 1. No night mode, in case you like to use this mode to improve the night shots. 2. No single take mode, a mode that has become increasingly popular, but sadly it is missing on this phone. 3. No slow motion or super slow motion mode. I was expecting to see at least the slow motion mode, but no, it's also missing. 4. No pro video mode, though this one was kind of expected, but I should mention it anyway just in case. 5. No Bixby Vision or AR zone, if you also care about these two features. 6. No voice command to take pictures or record videos, sadly. A feature I find handy and I sometimes like to use. And last but not the least, the maximum video recording resolution is at 1080p 30 frames per second for both the rear and the front-facing cameras with no video stabilization. Okay, Galaxy A13 1080p 30 frames per second, which is the only resolution you can record videos with this phone, unfortunately, and as you can see, it doesn't have any kind of video stabilization. So let's just see if the focus is alright. So here we are, this flower. Not too bad actually. So nice bokeh effect when you come closer. So yeah, no video stabilization of any kind. Galaxy A13. Okay, this is the front-facing camera. Again, just 1080p 30 frames per second. It's the only resolution you can record with it. And as you can see, like with the rear camera, and as expected, no video stabilization whatsoever. Let me pan around. It's a little bit cloudy today, so but image quality is not too bad, so I have to compare it to other phones and see. Okay, 1080p 30 frames per second, Galaxy A13. Now, moving on to other cons not related to the camera. Another one is good luck with very limited functionality, not with the full flavor or customization you can get in other Samsung's phones. Another issue is with Samsung Music app not working properly. Exactly same issue I have with the A53 5G and I believe other Samsung phones recently released. I cannot play like 80-85% of the tracks from my music library, which is very annoying. No always on display built-in, as expected since it is an LCD screen, but like I showed you in a recent video, you can download an always on display app from the Google Play Store if you don't mind your battery draining a little bit more. I really like this one because it's very customizable. No screen video recording, and this is another feature I was expecting to see on the A13, but sadly is also missing. Multi-window split screen experience is not great. I use multi-window split screen a lot. It's one of my favorite features on Android since day one. Here it's not as smooth as in other phones. It is a little bit slow and has this weird blur effect when resizing one of the apps, which I don't really like. Let's now talk about the pros and the things I like about this phone. 1. This is not an AMOLED screen. It is an LCD display, but it is surprisingly good. I honestly didn't expect it to be this good. I couldn't really tell if it is an LCD display and not AMOLED if I didn't know about it beforehand. It is even bright enough outdoors, which is good. 2. It comes with a headphone jack and with Dolby Atmos for improved sound, and the sound coming from the headphone jack is good. No complaints about it. 3. Fingerprint reader on the power button, which is my favorite placement for it. I just find it more convenient on the power button than under the display, even if it's not as reliable and accurate as in other phones. 4. Battery life. It is very good and definitely one of the highlights on this phone, up to a day and a half with moderate to heavy usage. 5. And this one is entirely personal. It has to do with the build quality. Some people might say it feels cheap because it's made of plastic, but not me. I see it as a positive because it is more durable, though it would have been even better with aluminum frames and matte back instead of glossy. 6. It doesn't come with Samsung Pay as expected, but at least it has NFC for mobile payment. Now, when it comes to performance, it is as expected in this price range. It's okay in general, with sometimes some apps taking a couple of extra seconds more than normal to load, with RAM management often having some hiccups. Scrolling and searching through the internet is not as smooth, but once again, this is expected in a budget phone like this one. No surprise. My conclusion. Given the price, it's not a bad phone and could be perfect for someone who needs a simple phone good enough for social media, text messaging, phone calls, with a simple and decent camera setup, especially for pictures and maybe basic games or as a backup phone. My question is, did Samsung really need to release this phone when it already has a barrage of phones in its catalog with basically the same specs? I don't think so, and I wish Samsung and the rest of the manufacturers stopped releasing so many unnecessary phones. I personally think this is one of the reasons people are losing enthusiasm and interest for tech and especially smartphones. It is just too much. But that's me. What do you think? Let me know your opinion. See you in the next one. Hasta la vista.